Analyzing, the first thing that we saw coming out of the gate was the Bang Gang Clangers entrance. And my God, I don't know that we pushed Steve Austin in the 90s like they are pushing these fucking guys, but it's a group of people that is focused on probably the least charismatic one of the bunch, and he's the one that's wrestling a single match. Good old Switchblade Jay White. And his opponent was summoned by you, Brian, like Beetlejuice. Think about it. When is the last time we heard this guy's name, A.R. Fox, and you mentioned it on last week's program? Where'd he go? And he's back.
I don't even know if that program has been released yet, so people have to take your word for it. But yeah, he was a baby face that you can kind of root for. He kind of looked like he was from the set of Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, like he could dance. You know what he does too? He does the one thing he does that looks horrible. He claps his hands in front of him whenever he does like a kick or anything. Like instead of slapping his thigh, he'll clap his hands in front of him.
Here, look how good my rhythm is. I can clap my hands at the same time I kick the guy.
Well, he was a great baby face, and then he turned heel and became just a vicious thug.
Just a backstabbing, home-invading motherfucker.
And then Swerve turned on him. Kind of like the name Swerve, you would think maybe I shouldn't trust this guy.
It's like having a fucking lawyer named Cheatham.
He cheated him, and then he had nowhere else to go, so he came back hat in hand to Darby and Nick Wayne.
Apologized. He apologized. I'm sorry you nearly bled out because of something I was involved in.
Then he was kind of like almost accepted, and then he disappeared, and then Nick Wayne turned, and now A.R. Fox is back.
So now is A.R. Fox justified? Wait a minute, who did he turn on now? Wait, A.R. Fox is justified because he knew ahead of everybody what a piece of shit turncoat backstabber Nick Wayne was.
But he was only doing it to upset Darby, right? He wasn't doing it, like Nick Wayne was just, what's the word I'm looking for?
A pawn in the game?
Well, yeah, Nick Wayne was just collateral damage.
Collateral damage. You know what they ought to do? They ought to, like the kids these days, they ought to do a Facebook, fucking group or thing or whatever on everybody's personal drama. Here's what Darby said to me in 2018 that led me to smash him with a goddamn blunt instrument in 2022. He insulted my cooking or whatever the fuck. And all the childish high school reasons why all these people are mad at each other and keep stabbing each other in the back to where you can't fucking trust any motherfucker. We ought to have some kind of, like one of those, you got a neighborhood thing up there, right? You got a neighborhood thing on the internet where they keep everybody apprised. Aunt Joe over here down the street just had her fucking 14th hysterectomy or whatever. So we send good luck to her.
Mrs. Princenthal saw a bear, make him up the street, be careful.
There you go. Yeah. Well, they ought to have that for AEW where we could, instead of trying to remember this shit because it's inexplicable, we should be able to go back and look at all the nasty things they've said to each other and why they're mad.
But that is kind of the drama they try to put on their show. It's all about friendships ending because of endless childish behavior. I'm not exactly sure why. Everyone's friends for no good reason, but then the friendships end for no good reason. So there's no good reason for any of it.
Well, speaking of no good reason for anything, let's get back to Jay White and A.R. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, it took everything that the number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship could do to beat this 185-pound nobody that we never see and that has turned on every friend he's ever had to the point where people can't trust him at all in 15 minutes.
Didn't they say, too, A.R. Fox was a hometown kid, or he was from Connecticut?
I didn't see massive banners or anything. Welcome wagon. Was the Chamber of Commerce there?
I thought they said that on commentary, but then I'm like, you said his gym was in Atlanta, and he's mugging people in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was a long match.
Maybe he's one of those expatriates. Maybe they excommunicated him. Anyway, the point of the deal was, as Jay White and his Bang Clang Bangers are celebrating in the ring that they've beat this guy, MJF, dressed all in black with a hoodie that he, flips down to last moment, runs to the ring and tries to steal his belt back and gets his hands on it and gets caught, and they jerk it away from him, and he runs back out through the crowd. So the world champion did a run-in to fail, and it's not like now that they, oh my God, I can't believe that the Gangbang Clang actually snatched the belt back from MJF. There's no heat in that. It's that they stole it is the heat that the champion comes out and tries and fails once he's got his hands on it to get the fucking thing back. Well, now it's like, well, fuck. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, he wants to get it back. They're about to have a match, apparently, we think, according to these convoluted, clouded fucking promos where they're challenging, asked, and answered 3 or 4 matches in the same fucking breath. So why would you have him try to steal it when he's got a match coming up where he could get it back? Or if he's going to try and steal it, let him steal it. And then somebody can beat him in the 8-man tag and steal it back if it's that big of a deal to you. Or whatever the fuck. But what was this?
The booking for all of this has been questionable for a while. I think in one way it was good because this is what heel MJF would do. He would sneak to the ring and try to do something sneaky.
Yes, and heel MJF would have probably got away with it. Heel MJF would have got away with most of the shit that he's not getting away with anymore, and that's the problem.
I agree with that.
That's why he was over.
I agree with that.
He was getting away.
Although he's still over. He's still over, but it's different.
Okay, he's still over. Would he now be getting over doing this thing if we had never seen the other thing? Would he be getting over doing this thing like he got over doing the other thing?
No.
Boom goes the dynamite.
But what's the other thing? He would have gotten the belt and run away?
No, the whole heel run. Yes, MJF is over right now.
Yeah, but the babyface run is clearly not as good as the heel run. No one's questioning that.
Okay, that's the point I'm making, is that when you got a guy that got over doing that shit, and then you take away his ability to do all that shit, no, he doesn't need to win every time. He doesn't need to succeed he doesn't need to poke the guy in the eye every time. But still, most of the time, he's got to outsmart these fuckers because he's the devil. And then they can gang jump him and do something illegal, immoral, and unethical again. But you see what I'm saying? He's got to one up these guys most of the time, and then they get to heat where it counts. Because if he's just outsmarted, outmaneuvered, he's the magician that can't make the fucking rabbit come out of the hat anymore.
I will say this, he should get a raise. He's in the middle of everything that matters on this show. Not just this show, but Dynamite too. It's all MJF.
If they really wanted to reward him, they'd give him a contract release.
Well, that would be a gift for him, but not for the company.
Well, you said he should be rewarded, given a raise. Well, anyway,